The Raiders dominate the Chiefs, and after the game, more good news comes out about how dominating this win was, in fact. So here's some things. Mahomes starts the game with back-to-back 3-and-outs. First time he's ever done that in his career. After the first quarter, the Chiefs had negative 18 yards. First time in 20 years an NFL team has had that few of yards in an NFL game. The Chiefs are booed off of their home field at halftime. This is a win that the Raiders wanted and they got, and they get it in dominating fashion, a scoop and score, a pick six, and it was outstanding. If you're new to the channel, my name's Chris. My main channel is Sports Talk Detroit, but I like the Raiders and they don't get the national love like they should. So we make sure we talk about them here on this channel. This is all about the Las Vegas Raiders on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. So this is a great game for the Raiders because it proves that the cupboard's not bare. For a minute there, you lose your coach. AP comes in as your coach. Okay, kind of an energy thing. There's some definite wins that were just off of energy and a newness and a freshness of a new coach. But you're just kind of wondering, like, oh my gosh, what's this rebuild look like? What do we have to do this off season? We need a quarterback, and what else? And it just seemed kind of overwhelming. But what you see is you have a defense. You absolutely have a defense, and Jack Jones again just continues to make plays. Remember a couple days ago he made some comments, nothing crazy, but just saying, hey, if you stop Patrick Mahomes, you stop him. Well, yeah, that's pretty obvious, but his point was they got nobody else. There's nobody else that can do anything, and he backs it up with a pick six. Of course, he had that one-handed pick six a couple weeks ago. This dude can straight up play. Of course, Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson starting to figure it out. They're moving him around. So the defense is there. Now it's almost like if you get a quarterback or figure out the quarterback side, this team is right there. So let's take a closer look at even more good news that came out of this win against the Chiefs. It's in the division. You look at these two right here. I mean, just legendary. Look at Max Crosby. Love that guy. So it's in the division. The Chiefs have been kings of this division for a while now. It's frustrating. Can't ever beat them. Have to play them twice a year. It's just the whole thing, right? But we talked about it. Back-to-back 3-and-outs. First time to begin the game in the Mahomes era. Minus 18 yards. You look at the way that they score here. They have to find it by Isaiah Pacheco. You know, this is always a good sign when they score on a tricky play because it's like, all right, that means you're going deep in the bag of tricks. You can't line up and just straight up play us. So the first touchdown for the Raiders was an 8-yard fumble recovery by Nichols. Love that trick play, trying to get cute. I mean, perfect, right? Like that is exactly what you're looking for as a Raiders fan. Is like they're trying to get cute and tricky on you, and you're able to find a way to pick that or to scoop and score that. Oh, love it. Let's see if we can see it here. Little tricky. Oh, Nelly picked it up, score. What a huge play in the game. The next one, couple seconds later, Jack Jones, pick six. Again, he made the comments. I'm not going to play it just to get flagged on YouTube, but you guys all saw it. I'll play it real quick. What are we doing? Why not? You can see how this is just a basic, sees it, baits him, gone. Love it. And so the third quarter, Mahomes attempted to play hero ball by scrambling on what felt like every snap, but the Raiders defense held. So if you're a Raiders fan, you're watching this. I mean, you're just like, oh my gosh. Like every time Mahomes starts running around, but the defense held play after play after play after play. And so it was awesome. And so the good news here is your defense is there. We'll go back to the game here in just a second. But you knew watching it, that was a pretty dominant performance. But now that the game's closed and some of the stats start coming out, you realize our defense is right there. And we don't have to spend a lot of resources on the defense this offseason trying to get them right. Instead, we can focus on quarterback, offensive line, skill position players. I mean, right? Like you'll figure it out. But for a mid part of the season there, it's like, is the defense terrible? Is the offense like is the offense, the defense? Like what are all the problems? But now you start looking around at the different players, and look, Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Renfro, Michael Mayer is going to just be better next year. Offensive line can always improve, and there's a lot of injuries. We'll get some players going on the offensive line, but defensive line, Max Crosby, just count on him. Just count on a star every single week. Doesn't ever get injured. Nichols, scoop and score. Linebackers could probably be better. Secondary, Jack Jones continues to make plays. Tyler Hall, like him. So you've got the defensive players where as you can finish out this year and you look at going into next year, it's not that far off. And that's what the beauty of this. So the other good news is playoff predictor. There's some games finishing, some things that got to happen, but the Raiders had a 2% chance of making the playoffs going into this game. But if they could win this game, it would bump them up to about 20%. So I'm seeing some different numbers out there, but the other good news is now it's about a 25% chance of making the playoffs. I know that's still somewhat of a long shot, but the point is you go from not having a chance, and if you lose this game, it is officially over, to, I don't know, win 2 more games. Like, what are we doing? Let's do this. So if you look at the Raiders schedule, let me pull that up real quick, and you can see how, man, it's kind of just, it's like, well, let's do this. Here's the schedule: Indianapolis and Denver. Indianapolis, somewhat of a surprise or main surprise this year. So you go to Indy. The good news is Indy has not won at home this year, or they have, but I mean they're not like a dominant home team, and you're going into this hostile environment. Who knows? You can win that. Then Denver, who knows what they're playing for and what's going on with them? They started off terrible, started to come back, and now they've lost a couple in a row. So, you start looking at that. You win at Indy, you beat Denver, you're going to give yourself a chance for the playoffs. And if nothing else, you're just winning and evaluating and looking forward to what could come of next year. That's the thing about rebuilds, and the Lions have been through a lot of rebuilds. Going in and winning, going into the offseason would be great. But I love how the Raiders are just like, you know what? We're still in this season. We're not going to give up. We're just going to keep on going. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one, and we'll see all of you on the next one.